Alright, so here we are again. We got last night the COBB Access Sport short shifter, which we're going to be installing today. So from the previous video, we had to move that out because we need the space for this. I did a little bit of research, and I got pretty much what we're gonna be setting up with, probably gonna have to use or whatever. All these tools are like Walmart brand, whatever. The biggest thing that I think that we're gonna be doing here is the fact that we ain't rich.
Nope.
We don't got unlimited funds.
Nope.
We are super limited, and we're gonna make do with what we got.
Yo, let's do it. So
with that being said, I'm not even using a fancy camera. I'm using my phone. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started with all this work and see how we end up at the end of the night. You ready, bro?
Yeah.
All right.
All
All right, so we're set to dismantle this stuff. This is my favorite tool that I have in my garage. It literally has gotten almost everything I need fixed. Ain't that right, David?
Yep.
When stuff doesn't work, swing this one around and it gets the job done. All right, so first, we gotta take apart this entire assembly. I've done a little bit of research. So there are two 10mm screws or Phillips head screwdrivers that are in here that I am going to go ahead and remove. Now, normally, I like to keep my screws in my cup holders, but since I'm going to be moving all of this stuff around, I don't think it's the best
put it in the seat.
idea. So I'm just going to put them down here. This is going to be my gathering place for everything. I do like to keep stuff at least somewhat together. So I got that taken apart. The next thing right here. Let me get this right here. Ha! It works. Perfect. All right, so there's another screw in here. So we'll go ahead and take that one out. I like using the screwdriver because it has a magnetic tip. I have the luck of losing the screws every time I'm working with them. That's why I have this handy dandy magnet always ready, as long as the magnet and the sledgehammer are like the two most commonly used tools in my garage. So that was easy. So now we're going here. Let's go get my shift knob out, which eventually I will change. So far I still have this stock one. Is this thing even coming out?
Yeah, if you guys hear a mispronunciation of words, that's how we talk around here. So bear with us.
Okay, so it's out.
Oh, it's floppy.
Oh. So the canal is gonna go in the seat. We're gonna get into it here. How do you come up, baby? Oh, that way. Just be a man about it. When you don't have a lot of space, bring the car into 4th gear. It keeps the shifter somewhat centered, and it'll give you a little bit of wiggle room between the front end of like the dash and the space you have. So by just doing that, it makes it so much easier for me to just remove this piece right here. Set that in my back seat. Next thing, I have these two screws right here, which are plastic with a flat head tip, but I'm literally spinning it with my hand. So let's see if I can get it out. That's one. Yeah, there's a foam underneath here. So unless this is super tight, which it shouldn't because it's plastic, just push down and spin it to the, lefty loosey with your hand. You don't need a screwdriver for this groove or nothing like that. I think if you tighten it hard enough to where you actually need a screwdriver, the plastic will break anyways. So
yeah. You ain't trying to do that.
I don't understand that. Then we're just gonna go ahead and take the inner knob boot out. That just looks weird.
Inner knob.
Sorry, we like to have fun. All right, so here we go. We have this bolt right here, which is clearly going across the arm that's connected to the transmission. And we're just gonna have to loosen that up. That's gonna be a 12mm. Right, so we're just gonna go ahead and get the 12 here, 12 here. Be careful, all these edges, if you just start going crazy. Like, I have big hands and big knuckles, so I'm already feeling my knuckles scratching into the plastic. So either wear gloves, don't be a wuss, or just do things slowly, calmly, like I should be.
Don't rush it, bro.
All right, so here we are. The nut is out and the bolt is out. So we're just gonna go ahead and put these two together since they're paired couple. This now can be moved. This is almost loose. So now if you look in here, we have a plastic with a C-clamp. See if we can get in there. All right. So right here, that's a C-clamp. I literally went to Walmart and I found this C-clamp remover for $5. So again, looking for, you know,
an expensive
doing
way.
stuff in a budget. That's how we roll around here.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get these in here.
They come up?
Nope. Now we did. All right, so now that the C-clamp is out, you see I'm wiggling it with my fingers. We're just gonna keep it all together, and then this whole entire thing is gonna come up.
There
so
you go.
This is my old shift knob. To take the C-clamp out, just twist it a little bit on the thinner part so you don't bend it out of shape. So just twist a little bit to get it out. We're gonna place this here. This is greasy, so be careful where you set it. Don't set this
anywhere where you have nice interior or anything like that.
Yeah, pretty much. And as you just saw, a little bit of this rubber gasket came off. Well, one of these rubber gaskets came off. So right here, no, I took it out and I already replaced it. Okay. So be careful with that kind of stuff. This is just plastic. You can just push that out, and we can go ahead and place this here so we can compare the old and the new. Now this is adjustable, so I can finagle with it a little bit. That's gonna give me a little bit of an adjustment. What's that, 1.5 inches lower?
Yeah. Just about.
We'll see. We'll see how that comes out. But so we're gonna go ahead and get the new one. Well, actually, no, not yet. All of this hardware that comes from here, we have to move it over to the other side. So right here, we have this little tube, got a flathead screwdriver right here.
Push it through.
And push it through, get it out to the other side. And these two lids are gonna have to come out as well. So we're gonna get the flathead screwdriver. Here we go, we're underneath, and we just lift. Once you get one side in, just go around it. So you can see it's already making the space to get it out. That's one. And that's two. All right, so now with the new one, where's the new knob? There we go. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but I have a tendency of losing tools within 0.1 seconds.
Especially 10 mils?
Shut up. So we got everything back in. Ha! So, this baby right here. Hold it nicely. Instead of taking the hammer to the tool, just bring the tool to the hammer. just to make sure that everything is nice and neat in there. All right, next thing is the plastic. Make sure that you see the teeth, the loose part is on top, the solid part is at the bottom. Make sure it goes back in the same exact way. And last but not least, we're gonna need the C-clamp. The same way we took it out by just bending one side. We're just gonna bend one and get it in there. Made a scratch to it, but this was used anyway, so. Ooh, I made a scratch. Make sure whenever you're putting in the short shifter, this is a good chance right now to go ahead and get your Allen key and loosen up these screws so you can adjust it later. So I'm gonna go ahead and, ooh, that went a lot shorter. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it right there. Let's see the difference now with that adjustment right there. Look at that. Wow. That already gave me the other half of an inch that I needed. These cars have a common problem of not having enough clearance to get into gears, so we're gonna go ahead and test that too. But just like how we took all of this stuff out, it's gonna go right back in. So plastic back inside. Rubber seal came out. Go ahead and put that back in here. Make sure that this goes in all together. All right. There we go. All right, now we just gotta get the C-clamp in there. We're gonna move, I'm gonna refer to this as the fork. We're gonna move the fork out the way so we can get the C-clamp in there. David, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I know I'm a horrible cameraman. Don't delete that, leave that in there.
Believe it or not, this is the first time I mess around with C-clamps like these.
Really?
Yeah. First time for everything. All right. So how about, I'll try something real quick. I'm gonna try to get the back part in as close as possible. Let's see if I can get this to work.
Well, you can't see what's going on out there, but
All right, well,
use your imagination, guys.
not with me around. It's a bad idea. All right, we'll flip it. I'm trying to get it towards the light so you can see it. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right, can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna get the C-clamp in. All right, we'll clear this a little bit. We're gonna tighten everything up, and then we're gonna
squeeze it like a regular.
No, if I squeeze it, it's gonna open it. So I have to push it inwards to close it.
Oh. It's unedited. You're getting the raw shit. Oops.
Yeah, filter your mouth.
You're getting the real deal.
All right, so David.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need your help. Get that screwdriver right here. Actually, get the flathead one right there, and go ahead and on the back end, try to squeeze that in. Are you even looking?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. All right, go ahead and push it in on the other side back here. Yep. All right, so let me get that. All right, so you heard the first click. Get close in there. You heard the first click, but just to make sure, we're just gonna go ahead and use a flathead screwdriver to push the whole entire clamp in there. I heard the second clip. Now it looks like it's nice and fitted in there. I'll hold the camera right here so you can see it. So it has a little lip right here. I'm just using the flathead screwdriver to push down on it all the way around. And of course, the test is I'm gonna see if it comes up. It doesn't, so that's how we know it's locked in place. Oops. Yep, unedited. Alright, fork back in.
Unedited.
Hey, that's how we roll in here, right? We're just gonna go ahead and get that fork in place. Or try to at least. Boom, that's one side. That's the other.
No, we see, man. We did it.
Alright, so this handy little tool that I have gives you 4 different sizes. You have an 8, a 13 on this side, and then you have a 10 and a 12. They're both ratchetable to each side. Just got to make sure that, you know, we switch over to tightening. We're going to get our 12 back, which, here it is. Told you, we lose tools all the time. I'm going to get that 12 back in here. It makes it really easy because the tool itself is kind of thin. So I've used it in a lot of my projects and all the other stuff that I've messed with, you know, throughout the years since I bought this tool. All right, so here we go. Seems to be tight enough. All right, so first things first, let's test. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. I think it's bumping to try to get into reverse. There we go. So how's the clearance? It's clearing.
It looks fine.
Yeah, it's going into all the gears. All right, so let's just put everything back together. We got
Mr. Fluffy.
Yeah, Mr. Fluffy, the inner boot. Alright, make sure that you put everything that was underneath, like a carpet or whatever like that. Make sure you put it back in there. I'm gonna get the 2 plastics, the white plastics. I'm just gonna push those in. Make sure you get this. I'll leave it right here for now. Then we need with a T. All right, we're gonna go ahead and use this. We're gonna go back to 4th gear like I mentioned earlier.
Mr. Floppy.
Push it in. Get this in there, and then let's get the knob. I will switch this knob later. And one more turn. Problem is, my dumb self didn't use gloves while I was messing with all the greasy stuff. So now my fingers are all greasy. So, what's the lesson of today? Greasy stuff makes you slippery. All right, try to get the boot in. It's one side. It's another.
Stop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That feels good, man.
Does?
That feels really good.
Nachi?
You'll feel that in a minute. All right, so get this stuff back in here. Get this little screw. Again, screwdriver, magnetic tip. Makes it a lot easier to take it out and put it back in. And then we're missing the other 2 that go back here. So much for magnetic, huh? Whatever. At least it's getting the job done. Make sure you put it in the hole right. Otherwise,
That's what she said. Huh?
that is what she said. Get this side in. right? Before I clip this in, I'll make sure that everything is tight. Everything is good. We'll go ahead and clip my e-brake panel in all the way through. And then this part, my car is broken, but whatever. We're just gonna set it down here where it belongs. Somewhere. There we go. And here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse.
And it's so much shorter.
That's pretty much it. I gotta find my car keys. They're somewhere. I have no idea. Honestly. Let me look for it. So they magically appeared to me. I'm just gonna go ahead and test that out. Feels good, man. See if
yeah.
moved a little bit. Next thing or last thing is to excuse me. Last thing is to go for a test drive. We are going to at least get all the tools out of the car, and we're going to go out for a test drive. Make sure that it's going through all the gears right. I'm going to have to wipe this down for the greasiness, because you can see how shiny my hands look. That's all the greasiness from in there. So suggestion, since we're gonna be since all of this stuff comes out first, take all these plastics, all these covers, all of this stuff out first before you get to the shifter assembly itself. Once you have taken out all of the exposed, I'm gonna use exposed plastics, then put on your gloves, or you can do it with the gloves, whatever, it don't matter at that point. But once you're done with all the mechanism, putting everything back and tightening down the bolts for the shifter assembly itself, remove your gloves, or at least change them for a new pair, so whenever you're putting everything back, you don't get the rest of your car greasy. Thankfully, this wasn't that bad, but I do feel it in my hands, and I do feel it in the shift knob, that it is a little bit greasy. That was my fault. And then of course I'm gonna get a little bit more now from here, because all the greasiness, as you can tell, is right here. It's just that greasiness just to lube the plastic to be able to move around a little bit better and smoother. But that's pretty much it with this. We're just gonna go for a little test drive now, and see if we have to take it apart, or if everything is just fine. Like always, if you like the material that we're putting out in here, please go ahead and hit a like, subscribe down below, share with your friends, and the most important thing for me is if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Like I've said before, I'm a very easygoing person. I will take things apart twice if I have to, just to show the process of how things are done, or try to explain it in a different way to make it easier for you guys to understand. So now that we finally accomplished this, I think the next thing we're going to be doing is actually come up front with me. I'm going to show you. I am planning on plasti dipping these emblems or these plastics black, since there's nothing really silver or chrome in the car. That's one of the things I want to do. Second, these are the letters that I said in the other video that I want to go ahead and wrap in carbon fiber. So I want to wrap them in carbon fiber. I have my heat gun, I have an X-Acto knife. Literally everything is from eBay. So I paid like 10 bucks for the heat gun and like 3 for the X-Acto knives, like as cheap as possible. I'm a parent. I got a kid to feed. This is secondary. So with the leftover, this is what I do. But I'm gonna try to go ahead and get this wrap. I'm pretty sure it comes out in the back. I'll play with it later. And then down here, I can tell that they had attempted to plasti dip it right here. Yeah, well, whenever it's lighter, whenever we're gonna get to it. But I'm gonna plasti dip some little panels here black to keep it dark, and then do the carbon fiber wrap. And I will post all of that stuff in the next video. And then I'm gonna take apart my headlights, paint them black, and I'm going to, this is the one thing that I may not cheap out on, is I got a guy that can do a very, very nice ceramic coating. It's like 4 or 5 layers of coatings on my headlights, scratch removal and all that other stuff to get these headlights to look, you know, back to new. Plus they're gonna be black. The housing is gonna be black. I may do some like blue demon eyes and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll play with that a little bit later on. But that's it for tonight. Hope you guys liked the video. Like I said before, like, subscribe, share. That's very important. It helps this information get out there more. And the more people it reaches, the more people I can help. It's the only thing I want. So unless David got something to say, we'll flip the camera on him now.
Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's do this.
All right. See you guys.
See you.
All right, so here we go. Test drive time. Move this cable out the way. All right, let's see. I have too many cars in my damn driveway. Oh God. These glasses off. Yep. Yeah, if you're laughing, you know where that came from. If you're not laughing, you may want to do a little bit of research on some videos. So it doesn't feel like it's going into second, but it really is. It doesn't feel like it notches into the gear. That does feel a lot better.
It does.
Maybe with a different weighted knob,
Yeah.
it may help everything feel better. But it just feels like second is barely into the gear, not all the way in. Like it'll pop out, but it feels good. It's in there. It just
Feels notchy.
Well, if you drive stick shift, you know how you feel how it goes into the groove, and then when it goes all the way in, right? You feel that with your hand. Well, it doesn't. It's kind of smooth. I feel it going into the gate, but I don't feel it going all the way back to its end. So that's something that I'm gonna keep a lookout on. I may have to lift it a little bit from the bottom. It may be bumping into something and not allowing me to get it all the way into the gear. I am looking for that notch feel when I get into gear. So like right here, I know I'm in the gate, but I feel it going almost an inch into the gate, and I feel that in fourth. I felt it now going into second. So it may just be me getting used to it, but it feels amazing. I'm just driving around in circles now. David's not even looking at the camera. He's just randomly recording now.
No, I'm looking. Remember, I gotta record you and the stick.
Whoa. Yeah, that feels real good. It's a lot shorter. I don't have to elevate this. I used to drive a Honda S2000. Well, I used to own a Honda S2000. If you ever been into those cars, the seat kind of like sinks in, and the center console is slightly elevated. So think of your armrest right here, and that's the whole entire console. So the shifter, it was literally a wrist turn. So all you literally had to do was this. Your arm will be resting on the center console the whole entire time. So it kind of reminds me, because it all feels like it doesn't feel like the stick shift is so high. It feels like it's all kind of like put together along with the center console. It feels like everything is more intertwined and not a big shift knob like I'm shifting over here. It just all feels like one big part. It actually makes it feel a lot more comfortable. So yeah, man, that's pretty good. See, now I felt it going into that second, how I like it.